Hi, everyone. So we're running almost to the end of for day one, and what a day it's been. We're going to get a chance now to talk to the VP Corporate Development over at Sitka Gold. A big Yukon story. Yukon's been in the news quite a bit. There's lots happening up there. And of course, gold is in the news quite a bit. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some properties, not just there. That's the main flagship property. But Sitka Gold has a lot of projects. And we've got someone who's very technical, from Yukon, understands Yukon, knows these projects, and is going to tell us about the opportunity here with Sitka Gold.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I've been in the Yukon since the mid 80s. I'm a geologist as my background. I worked for the Yukon Geological Survey for 20 years, and that's how I met the folks that run Sitka Gold, Corco, the CEO. So I've known them for a long time. Pretty happy to join the company a couple years ago after they made their initial discovery at the RC Gold project. Sitka Gold also has other projects I'll touch briefly on outside of the Yukon. Alpha Gold is in Nevada. It's 40 kilometers south of the Nevada Gold's Cortez Hills mines, Gold Rush, 4 Mile. Pretty nice piece of real estate. We're about 40 kilometers south. We've drilled there over the last 5 years, small drill programs, testing a geological concept. We found gold in our drilling. So work to do there. We'll look at ways of monetizing that because obviously our discovery in the Yukon is our focus.
Yes.
We also have Burrow Creek. It's a gold silver deposit with a historical resource in Arizona. 100 million ounces of silver and 120,000 ounces of gold. And then we have a Coppermine River up in Nunavut. It's a sediment-hosted copper discovery, never been drilled. So a lot more interest in that neck of the woods. BHP, Aston Bay, a few companies are looking up there at coppers. So that's something that's never been drilled. Assays up to 14% copper and 2 ounces per ton silver. So it's a pretty sweet little discovery that Corco and Don Penner, our CEO and president, made. So we're looking at ways of monetizing that too. All our projects are permitted. We can drill every one of them. Pretty significant. But as you mentioned, RC Gold is our focus. We made a discovery in the Tombstone Gold Belt. That's a belt of rocks, 93 million year old granitics rocks that come up. They host the Fort Knox mine in Alaska. That was the first deposit that went into production in these rocks. They stretch across Yukon and Alaska. And in the eastern part of the Yukon, that's where Snowline Gold made the discovery of the Valley Gold deposit, which has really brought attention to this belt of rocks because typically these deposits are big, low-grade deposits. Snowline Gold has made a big, higher-grade deposit discovery. Their grade is about 1.2 grams per ton. Fort Knox is mining 0.3. The Eagle mine in the Yukon, Victoria Gold, that was mining 0.6 grams per ton. Our Blackjack deposit, the initial resource that we put out in January of 2023, a couple of years ago, was 900,000 ounces at a grade of 0.83. So we're seeing a higher grade as well. We focused on the Blackjack gold deposit. We've done 2 more years of drilling. We've doubled the amount of drilling into that, aimed at expanding the deposit. We're still drilling there. We're going to drill till the end of October. We continue to hit gold that's open to the south and at depth. We've hit a pretty spectacular hole recently that we're waiting on assays for, hole 68. We noted 40 occurrences of visible gold from 4 meters to 680 meters depth. We drilled down to try and figure out how deep this deposit goes. We know it goes to 680 meters and deeper because it's still open. We expect those assays very shortly. We've been waiting with bated breath.
And this, when you say shortly, I mean it's like within days, couple
of
weeks.
Weeks, certainly within the next week. Yeah, we're just the last.
So there's urgency here. There's urgency here.
Yeah. Also, really important. There's a cluster of intrusions in the Clear Creek area of the Yukon. We call it the Clear Creek Intrusive Complex. There's 8 intrusions that poke up. All of those intrusions have gold associated with them. Many of them have been drilled. We've made our 2 discoveries, the Blackjack and the Eiger deposits. We just acquired the southern part of the Clear Creek Intrusive Complex that historically has seen the most work. There's been drilling down there, last drilling though in 2012. So we acquired that ground in June of this year. We've done a little bit of work. We've drilled It's called the Rosgobble intrusion. Funny name, bit of a tongue twister. But it was drilled only shallowly in 1995 by Kennecott. Nobody's touched it since then.
Okay.
They only drilled to 60 meters depth. We drilled 2 holes. One was 300 meters, one was 400 meters. We've hit visible gold in that drilling 250 meters below where Kennecott drilled. Those assays probably in the order of a month at least away.
Okay.
But we're pretty excited about that because that's the first time that intrusion's been diamond drilled.
Yes.
And you get a lot more information. Canadians like diamond drilling. We get a lot more information out of the drilling.
Yep.
We're a very technical group. We're focused on finding gold deposits, and we've been successful. That's our tagline, focused on discovery, right? Because as a geologist, discovering something isn't the norm.
No, and you're treasure hunters and you're finding gold, which is always
Easter
exciting.
eggs.
Little Easter eggs.
A bunch of Easter eggs.
And
here.
here's a question, because you guys are very technical, and I'm not a very technical person. And when you're looking at these types of structures, I know enough to get myself in trouble. If you look at like Ontario, Quebec, these can go down stringy for like 2 kilometers. What are you seeing here that's kind of that you could say it's analogous to Snowline, or that are you seeing anything where this is going down? It looks like the way we expect it to look.
Yeah. Every deposit's always a little different. I mean, there are direct correlations because these rocks, these intrusions, granites that host these deposits are all 93 million years old. Their geological characteristics are the same, but all the deposits are slightly different. So one thing that's, Snowline is a nice blob with all the gold in it.
Yeah.
And this blackjack deposit and this cluster of intrusions we're finding, they're like little things poking up, but this blackjack, it's like a conduit for the gold. It's not a blob, but maybe there's a blob down there. We haven't found that yet. That's a little deeper. That's one of the geological theories is these intrusions, they're in a like 3 by 5 kilometer area, all emanate from a common source.
Yes.
Right? And we're seeing gold poking out here and there. Like this Rosgobble I mentioned is 5 kilometers due south from our blackjack deposit. So there's connections in there.
Yes.
We don't fully understand those connections, but they're connected. They're the same age rocks. They all have gold. So what's going on down there? So, that's the fun as a geologist, figuring this out. The more work we do, the more we understand the deposit, the higher our rate of success goes. Because you learn from finding gold and you also learn from not finding it, right?
Yes.
Because, in geology and mineral exploration, failure is the norm. But if you don't learn from your failures, you're never going to be successful.
That's so, to repeat. Yes.
That's so when you're looking at these things and you're seeing a company put out news releases and you see they have some crappy holes, it's not the best thing, but it's not always the worst thing, especially if they're onto something that's had some success.
Like you said, sometimes it might hone in on the thesis more. Just say, listen, we were testing this, it came back wrong, but that's guided us more towards it's still within our thesis.
Exactly. You have to be ready for those types of things from any company, not just ours. I mean, we've had a lot of good drill holes and we've had some bad ones too. But you know what? That's all part of learning and figuring it out. So don't stake everything on a good drill hole, or don't stake everything on a bad drill hole.
Especially when you've got gold at 2,600. That's not such a bad thing too.
Yeah. But we've been beating the odds. We're very lucky. We're onto a very well-known gold mineralized system. I mean, this thing, there's been placer mining, if you watch Gold Rush, there's no Gold Rush operations there, but it's the Yukon. There's a lot of placer mining. There's a lot of placer mining going on around us and has been for 100 years. So people have always been, where's it coming from?
Yes.
Well,
you got $10 million as well. So that's the other thing I wanted to throw in there. We've got lots of money to keep on poking holes as well. So you've got results that are coming in. That's going to end very soon, but you also have money to keep drilling.
Yeah, we're drilling to the end of October this year. We can drill in the winter. The last 3 seasons we've started in February. We'll compile all our results this year and then determine when we start. It's a little more expensive to work in the winter.
Yep.
But anyways, we'll look at that, and we're funded definitely through next year with $10 million. Our cost of drilling is $400 a meter. We're road accessible, right? So a lot of advantages there that bring our costs down. So yeah, we're happy we've putting our plan together for next year, and after we finish this year and get everything kind of in our database and figure things out, next year we'll hit the ground running.
Excellent. So lots of results coming in soon, as well as lots of news for next year. That's what we like to hear. And people are just starting to talk about gold. So this story is going to continue. So wonderful, Mike. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, great
and
to meet
we'll
you
keep
too.
an eye on Sitka Gold as well, because it's a good story that's developing.
Yeah, it's a great one. Thanks.